Imagine a life where true happiness doesn't depend on external circumstances, but instead comes from within. A happiness that isn't fleeting or dependent on the ups and downs of everyday life. This kind of happiness is deep, lasting, and unshakable. It's a happiness that doesn't waver when things go wrong or when challenges arise. Instead, it remains steady, guiding you through life with calm and clarity. Many of us spend our lives chasing happiness in all the wrong places. We seek it in material possessions, in the approval of others, in the pursuit of success, and in the constant need to prove ourselves. But the truth is, these things can only bring temporary satisfaction. As soon as one desire is fulfilled, another takes its place, leaving us in a never-ending cycle of wanting and disappointment. True happiness, the kind that endures, cannot be found in these external pursuits. This search for lasting happiness can feel like a journey without a clear destination. We're often told that if we just work harder, achieve more, or finally reach that one goal, we'll be happy. But this kind of happiness is fragile. It's easily shattered by the challenges and uncertainties of life. When things don't go as planned, when we face setbacks or disappointments, this happiness quickly fades, leaving us feeling empty and lost. But what if there's another way? What if happiness isn't something we have to chase, but something we can cultivate within ourselves, regardless of what's happening around us? What if we could learn to find joy in the simple moments, to remain calm in the face of chaos, and to build a life that's not just about surviving, but thriving? This way of living is not just a dream, it's a reality that can be achieved through the principles of Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a fulfilling life, no matter the circumstances. It's a philosophy that shows us how to find peace in the present moment, how to build resilience in the face of adversity, and how to cultivate a deep sense of contentment that isn't easily shaken. At its core, Stoicism is about focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. It's about understanding that while we cannot change the world around us, we can change how we respond to it. This simple yet profound shift in perspective has the power to transform our lives. It teaches us to find strength in adversity, to see challenges as opportunities for growth, and to appreciate the beauty in even the smallest moments. One of the most powerful aspects of Stoicism is its emphasis on inner strength. In a world that often tells us to look outside of ourselves for happiness, Stoicism reminds us that true contentment comes from within. It encourages us to build a solid foundation of self-worth, one that isn't reliant on the opinions of others or the ever-changing circumstances of life. This inner strength allows us to remain grounded, even when the world around us is in turmoil. Stoicism also teaches us the importance of living in harmony with our true selves. It encourages us to align our actions with our values, to live with integrity, and to pursue what truly matters. When we live in this way, we create a life that's not just about achieving goals, but about finding meaning and purpose in every moment. We learn to appreciate the journey rather than constantly striving for a destination that may never bring the happiness we seek. But Stoicism is not just about individual happiness, it's also about how we interact with the world around us. It teaches us to be compassionate, to understand that everyone is facing their own struggles, and to approach life with empathy and kindness. When we cultivate this mindset, we not only create a more peaceful and fulfilling life for ourselves, but we also contribute to the well-being of those around us. However, adopting a Stoic mindset is not always easy. It requires us to challenge long-held beliefs and to let go of habits that no longer serve us. It asks us to look inward, to confront our fears and insecurities, and to take responsibility for our own happiness. This journey can be challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. The more we practice Stoic principles, the more we begin to see the world in a new light. We start to realize that true happiness isn't something that can be given or taken away by external circumstances. It's something we create within ourselves. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of calm and purpose, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the inner strength to handle it. Imagine being able to find joy in the simple things, to remain at peace even in difficult times, and to live a life that's truly aligned with your values. This is the kind of life that Stoicism can help you build. As you begin this journey, it's important to remember that Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or denying the challenges of life. It's about embracing life fully, with all its ups and downs, and finding a way to navigate it with grace and resilience. It's about learning to be okay with uncertainty, to accept that we don't always have control over what happens, but we do have control over how we respond. This acceptance is key to finding lasting happiness. It frees us from the constant need to control and allows us to live with a sense of peace and contentment, no matter what life throws our way. So, as you embark on this journey of discovering lasting happiness, remember that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about taking small steps each day to cultivate the qualities that will lead to a more fulfilling life. It's about being patient with yourself, recognizing that change takes time, and celebrating the growth that comes from each experience. Through Stoicism, you'll learn that true happiness isn't about avoiding difficulties, but about facing them with courage and wisdom. You'll discover that the greatest joys in life often come from the simplest moments, and that true contentment is found not in what you have, but in who you are. And most importantly, you'll come to understand that lasting happiness is not a destination, but a way of living, a way of approaching each day with a sense of purpose, peace, and gratitude. This is the journey you are about to embark on. It's a journey of self-discovery, of building inner strength, and of finding a deeper, more enduring sense of happiness. It's a journey that will not only transform the way you see the world, but also the way you live in it. And while the road may not always be easy, the rewards are beyond measure. So take a deep breath, open your heart and mind, and get ready to discover the path to true, lasting happiness. The journey begins now. As we stand on the brink of exploring what it truly means to cultivate lasting happiness, we must first ask ourselves, what is the essence of happiness that endures? It's a question that has been pondered by philosophers, scholars, and seekers of wisdom throughout the ages. Yet, despite the complexity of life, the answer is profoundly simple, and it begins with how we choose to see the world and our place in it. Imagine waking up each morning with a deep sense of peace, unburdened by the anxieties of the past or the uncertainties of the future. Imagine facing the day with clarity, purpose, and a heart that remains steady no matter what challenges arise. This is not a far-off dream, but a reality that can be cultivated through the timeless principles of Stoicism. These principles are not abstract concepts. They are practical tools for transforming your inner world and, consequently, the way you experience life. As you continue on this journey, you will discover that the path to lasting happiness is not paved with external successes or material wealth, but with inner virtues, virtues that guide your thoughts, actions, and emotions. These virtues serve as the bedrock of a life well lived, a life where happiness is not a fleeting moment, but a continuous state of being. The teachings of Stoicism offer a roadmap to this kind of happiness. By embracing these teachings, you will learn to navigate life's complexities with grace and wisdom, finding joy not in what happens to you, but in how you choose to respond. You will begin to see that happiness is not something you chase, but something you cultivate from within, through a commitment to living with integrity, purpose, and resilience. As we delve into these principles, each one will serve as a building block for a more fulfilling life. You will come to understand that happiness is not a destination, but a journey, one that you walk every day with the choices you make, the thoughts you entertain, and the actions you take. This journey, guided by Stoic wisdom, leads to a happiness that is enduring, unshakable, and deeply rooted in the very essence of who you are. The first step on this path is recognizing that happiness does not come from external circumstances, but from within. This principle is foundational to Stoic philosophy and is a radical departure from the way many people approach life. In our culture, we are often taught to believe that happiness is something that happens to us, that it's a result of achieving certain goals, acquiring specific things, or gaining approval from others. But the Stoics teach us that this is a misconception, one that leads to endless striving and dissatisfaction. True happiness, according to Stoicism, is found in the cultivation of inner virtues, qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are not dependent on external factors, and because of this, they provide a stable foundation for a happy life. When you focus on developing these virtues, you shift your attention from what you cannot control, external events and the actions of others, to what you can control, your own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Consider how liberating it is to realize that your happiness is not at the mercy of external events. Whether you face success or failure, gain or loss, praise or criticism, your happiness remains intact because it is rooted in the virtues you cultivate within yourself. This inner-directed approach to happiness is what allows Stoics to remain calm and composed in the face of adversity, and it is what can enable you to do the same. But how do we cultivate these virtues in our daily lives? It begins with mindfulness, being fully aware of your thoughts, emotions, and actions, and consistently aligning them with the principles of Stoicism. This practice requires discipline and commitment, but the rewards are immense. By living in accordance with your virtues, you create a life that is not only happy, but meaningful. Mindfulness, in the Stoic sense, is about being present in each moment and making conscious choices that reflect your values. It's about not letting your mind wander into the past or the future, but staying grounded in the here and now. When you are mindful, you are less likely to be swayed by fleeting emotions or external pressures, and more likely to act in a way that is consistent with your true self. This mindfulness also extends to how you perceive the world around you. The Stoics teach us to see things as they are, without adding unnecessary judgments or emotional reactions. This practice, known as objective representation, involves looking at events and situations without the distortions of fear, anger, or desire. By seeing things clearly, you are better equipped to respond in a way that is rational and virtuous, rather than being driven by impulsive emotions. Imagine how your life would change if you could approach every situation with this kind of clarity and composure. Instead of being thrown off balance by unexpected challenges, you would remain steady, focused, and in control. This is the power of Stoic mindfulness, a power that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. Another essential aspect of cultivating lasting happiness is the practice of acceptance. Acceptance, in the Stoic sense, is not about passive resignation or giving up. It's about recognizing the reality of your situation and choosing to respond in a way that aligns with your values and virtues. This principle is closely related to the Stoic idea of amor fati, or love of fate, which encourages us to embrace whatever happens to us as an opportunity for growth and learning. When you practice acceptance, you free yourself from the burden of resistance and struggle. You stop fighting against what you cannot change and instead focus your energy on what you can control, your own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. This shift in focus allows you to find peace in even the most challenging circumstances, and it helps you to build a sense of inner strength that is unshakable. Think about the relief that comes from letting go of the need to control everything around you. When you stop resisting reality and start accepting it, you create space for peace and contentment to flourish. This doesn't mean that you stop striving for improvement or change, but that you approach these efforts with a sense of calm and purpose, rather than frustration or desperation. In addition to acceptance, gratitude is another powerful tool for cultivating lasting happiness. The Stoics understood that happiness is not about getting what you want, but about wanting what you have. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking in your life to the abundance that already exists. It helps you to appreciate the simple joys and blessings that are often overlooked in the pursuit of more. When you practice gratitude regularly, you train your mind to notice the positive aspects of your life, rather than dwelling on the negative. This shift in perspective can have a profound impact on your overall sense of well-being. By focusing on what you are grateful for, you create a sense of contentment that is not easily shaken by external circumstances. Imagine starting each day with a heart full of gratitude. Instead of waking up and immediately thinking about what you need to do or what you lack, you take a moment to reflect on the things you are thankful for. This simple practice can set a positive tone for your entire day, helping you to approach life with a sense of abundance and joy. Gratitude also plays a crucial role in how we relate to others. When we appreciate the people in our lives, we are more likely to treat them with kindness and compassion. This, in turn, strengthens our relationships and contributes to a deeper sense of connection and happiness. The Stoics remind us that we are all interconnected and that our happiness is tied to the well-being of those around us. By cultivating gratitude, we not only enhance our own happiness, but also contribute to the happiness of others. Another key element of Stoic happiness is the cultivation of a sense of purpose. Purpose gives our lives meaning and direction, and it helps us to stay focused on what truly matters. The Stoics believed that true happiness is found in living in accordance with our values and fulfilling our potential. When we have a clear sense of purpose, we are more likely to feel fulfilled and content, even in the face of challenges. Purpose is not something that is handed to us. It is something we must discover and cultivate within ourselves. This requires introspection and reflection, as well as a commitment to living in alignment with our values. When we live with purpose, we create a life that is not just about achieving goals, but about finding meaning and fulfillment in everything we do. Consider the difference between a life spent chasing after external rewards and a life spent pursuing a meaningful purpose. The former may bring temporary satisfaction, but the latter brings deep and lasting happiness. By focusing on what truly matters to you and living in alignment with your values, you create a life of purpose and fulfillment, a life that is rich in meaning and joy. In addition to purpose, the Stoics also emphasized the importance of resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity and to keep moving forward no matter what challenges we face. Resilience is a key component of lasting happiness because it allows us to maintain our sense of purpose and joy, even in difficult times. Resilience is not about ignoring or denying pain, but about facing it head-on and finding the strength to overcome it. It's about understanding that challenges are a natural part of life, and that each challenge we face is an opportunity for growth and learning. By cultivating resilience, we build the inner strength to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and determination. Imagine the strength and confidence that comes from knowing that you can handle whatever life throws your way. Imagine the peace that comes from accepting challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than as obstacles to your happiness. This is the power of resilience, a power that allows you to maintain your happiness no matter what life throws your way. Another important aspect of Stoic happiness is the cultivation of self-discipline. The Stoics believed that true happiness requires self-control and the ability to resist temptations that lead us away from our goals. By practicing self-discipline, we develop the strength to stay focused on what truly matters, even in the face of distractions and challenges. Self-discipline is not about denying ourselves pleasure, but about making choices that align with our values and long-term goals. It's about understanding that true happiness comes from living a life of purpose and integrity, rather than from indulging in short-term pleasures that ultimately leave us feeling empty. By cultivating self-discipline, we create a life that is focused, purposeful, and deeply fulfilling. Imagine the sense of accomplishment that comes from staying true to your goals and values, even in the face of temptation. Imagine the confidence and self-respect that comes from knowing that you have the strength to make choices that are in line with your true self. This is the power of self-discipline, a power that creates a foundation for lasting happiness. Finally, the Stoics teach us that happiness is not just about our own well-being, but about how we interact with the world around us. Compassion and empathy are essential components of Stoic happiness because they help us to build strong, supportive relationships and to contribute to the happiness of others. Compassion is the recognition that everyone is facing their own struggles, and it encourages us to approach others with kindness and understanding. Empathy, on the other hand, is the ability to put ourselves in someone else's shoes and to feel what they are feeling. Together, these qualities help us to build strong, supportive relationships that contribute to our happiness and the happiness of those around us. Imagine the impact of approaching each interaction with compassion and empathy. Imagine the deep connections you can build and the positive impact you can have on the lives of others. This is the power of compassion and empathy, a power that not only enhances your own happiness, but also contributes to the happiness of those around you. As we continue this journey of discovering the principles of Stoic happiness, it's important to remember that these principles are not just ideas to be understood, but practices to be lived. By integrating these principles into your daily life, you can create a foundation for lasting happiness that is not dependent on external circumstances, but rooted in the strength and wisdom of your own mind and heart. This is the path to lasting happiness, a path that leads to a life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment. As you walk this path, remember that happiness is not a destination, but a way of living. It's about finding joy in the present moment, cultivating inner strength and resilience, and living in harmony with the world around you. This is the life that Stoicism offers, a life of true, lasting happiness. As we explore deeper into the teachings that promise lasting happiness, it becomes clear that one of the most essential components is mental resilience. Life, as we know it, is unpredictable. It is full of ups and downs, joys and sorrows, triumphs and setbacks. While we cannot control the external events that shape our world, we do have power over how we respond to them. This is where mental resilience comes into play, a resilience that isn't just about surviving the storm, but thriving in its aftermath. Picture this. You're standing on the shore, watching as a mighty wave approaches. For many, the instinct might be to panic, to run, or to brace themselves against the impending force. But what if, instead of resisting, you learned to ride the wave? What if you could face each challenge with a calm heart, knowing that no matter how rough the waters, you have the strength and the skills to navigate through it. This is what mental resilience offers, the ability to stay grounded and composed, even when the world around you is chaotic. It's the quiet strength that comes from within, the unwavering belief that you can handle whatever life throws your way. And this isn't just about enduring hardships. It's about transforming them into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Building mental resilience is a journey, one that requires patience, practice, and a deep commitment to self-mastery. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, provide us with powerful techniques to cultivate this resilience. These techniques are not just for the tough times, they are for every moment of your life, helping you to develop a mind that is both strong and flexible, capable of bending without breaking. The first technique to consider is the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort. In a world that constantly pushes us toward comfort and ease, the idea of embracing discomfort might seem counterintuitive. Yet, the Stoics believed that by intentionally exposing ourselves to challenges, we can build the mental fortitude necessary to face life's inevitable hardships with grace. Voluntary discomfort could take many forms. It might involve fasting, spending time in uncomfortable conditions, or simply pushing yourself beyond your usual limits. The purpose of this practice is not to make you suffer, but to help you develop a tolerance for discomfort, to remind you that you are stronger than you think, and to prepare you for the unexpected challenges that life may throw your way. Imagine how much more resilient you would be if you trained yourself to be comfortable with discomfort. When you know you can endure hunger, cold, or physical exertion, you also develop the confidence to face emotional and psychological challenges. Voluntary discomfort helps you realize that many of the fears we hold are unfounded, that we are capable of much more than we often give ourselves credit for. By regularly stepping outside your comfort zone, you build a mind that is prepared for anything, a mind that is resilient and robust. Another essential Stoic technique is the practice of negative visualization. This may sound pessimistic, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools for building resilience. Negative visualization involves imagining the worst-case scenarios that could occur in your life, not to dwell on them, but to prepare yourself mentally for their possibility. When you imagine losing something or someone you care about, or facing a significant setback, you are not inviting these events to happen. Instead, you are training your mind to handle them with greater ease if they do occur. By mentally rehearsing how you would respond to these situations, you reduce their power over you. You begin to understand that while loss and hardship are inevitable parts of life, they do not have to destroy your happiness or your peace of mind. Consider how often we avoid thinking about the things we fear, hoping that by ignoring them, we can keep them at bay. But the Stoics teach us that facing these fears head-on, in a controlled and intentional way, actually diminishes their power. Negative visualization helps you to detach from the outcomes you cannot control, to find peace in the knowledge that you can survive and even thrive in the face of adversity. A third technique that is crucial for mental resilience is the Stoic concept of the dichotomy of control. This is the idea that we should focus only on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, and let go of what is not, such as the actions of others or the outcomes of our efforts. Imagine the freedom that comes from truly embracing this concept. How much time and energy do we waste worrying about things that we cannot change? The Stoics remind us that this worry is not only unproductive, but it also robs us of our peace and happiness. By focusing on what we can control, we empower ourselves to take meaningful action where it counts, and to accept with grace the things that are beyond our influence. This technique is not about giving up or resigning yourself to fate. It's about recognizing where your power lies and using it effectively, When you practice the dichotomy of control, you build a mental resilience that allows you to stay focused and calm, even in the face of uncertainty. You learn to direct your energy toward what truly matters: your own growth, your own actions, and your own peace of mind. The fourth technique is the practice of mindfulness and presence. While mindfulness is a concept that has become widely popular in recent years, its roots can be traced back to ancient Stoicism. The Stoics believed that to live a fulfilling life, we must be fully present in each moment, rather than being distracted by worries about the past or anxieties about the future. Mindfulness, in the Stoic sense, is about being aware of your thoughts, emotions, and surroundings, and responding to them with intention and clarity. It's about cultivating a state of mind where you are fully engaged in whatever you are doing, whether it's a mundane task or a profound experience. This practice not only enhances your enjoyment of life, but also builds mental resilience by helping you to remain grounded and centered, even when life is turbulent. When you practice mindfulness, you train your mind to stay in the present moment, where your true power lies. You learn to observe your thoughts and emotions without getting swept away by them, to respond to challenges with calm and clarity rather than with impulsive reactions. This practice is especially valuable in times of stress or crisis, when it can be easy to lose yourself in a sea of worries and fears. Mindfulness also helps you to develop a deeper awareness of your own mind and body, allowing you to recognize when you are beginning to feel overwhelmed or stressed, and to take steps to restore your balance. By staying present and mindful, you build a mental resilience that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and ease. The fifth technique is the practice of self-discipline. For the Stoics, self-discipline was not about rigidly controlling every aspect of your life, but about cultivating the ability to make choices that are in alignment with your values and long-term goals. It's about having the strength to resist temptations and distractions that would lead you away from your true path. Self-discipline is the foundation of a resilient mind because it allows you to stay focused on what truly matters, even in the face of challenges and setbacks. It gives you the strength to persevere through difficult times, to maintain your integrity and commitment to your goals, and to keep moving forward even when the going gets tough. Imagine the sense of empowerment that comes from knowing you have the self-discipline to stay true to your path, no matter what obstacles arise. This doesn't mean being inflexible or rigid. It means having the inner strength to choose your actions wisely, to prioritize your long-term well-being over short-term gratification, and to stay focused on what truly matters. Self-discipline also involves cultivating healthy habits and routines that support your mental and physical well-being. When you take care of your body, mind, and spirit, you build a resilience that allows you to handle stress and adversity with greater ease. By practicing self-discipline, you create a foundation for a life of purpose, fulfillment, and lasting happiness. The final technique is the practice of gratitude. While gratitude may not seem like a tool for building resilience, it is one of the most powerful ways to cultivate a strong and resilient mind. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking in your life to what is abundant, helping you to see the good in every situation, even in the midst of difficulty. When you practice gratitude, you train your mind to focus on the positive aspects of your life, rather than dwelling on the negative. This shift in perspective not only enhances your overall sense of well-being, but also builds a mental resilience that allows you to face challenges with a sense of appreciation and strength. Gratitude helps you to stay grounded in the present moment, to recognize the blessings that are all around you, and to find peace in the knowledge that you have everything you need to navigate life's challenges. It also helps you to develop a deeper sense of connection with others, as you recognize and appreciate the support and love that surround you. Imagine starting each day with a heart full of gratitude, taking a moment to reflect on the things you are thankful for, and carrying that sense of appreciation with you throughout the day. This practice not only enhances your happiness, but also builds a resilience that allows you to face life's difficulties with grace and strength. By integrating these Stoic techniques into your daily life, you can build a mental resilience that allows you to thrive in the face of adversity. Whether you are embracing discomfort, practicing negative visualization, focusing on what you can control, staying mindful and present, cultivating self-discipline, or practicing gratitude, each technique strengthens your mind and prepares you for whatever life may bring. This resilience is not just about enduring tough times, it's about transforming them into opportunities for growth, learning, and self-improvement. It's about developing a mind that is both strong and flexible, capable of bending without breaking, and finding peace in the knowledge that you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. As we continue to navigate the teachings of Stoicism, one principle becomes increasingly clear. Mastering life's uncertainties is not just a skill, but a way of life. Uncertainty is an inevitable part of our existence. It lurks in every corner of our lives, whether it's in the small, everyday decisions we make or in the larger, more impactful moments that shape our futures. How we respond to these uncertainties defines not only the quality of our lives, but also the depth of our inner peace. The Stoics understood that life is unpredictable, and they embraced this unpredictability as a fundamental truth. Rather than resisting or fearing the unknown, they developed practices and mindsets that allowed them to face uncertainty with calm and clarity. These practices are not just historical artifacts. They are as relevant today as they were centuries ago, offering us a roadmap to navigate the complexities of modern life with grace and resilience. Imagine waking up each day with a profound sense of peace, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the tools and mindset to handle it. This isn't about having all the answers or knowing what the future holds. It's about cultivating an inner strength that allows you to face whatever comes your way with confidence and composure. The Stoic approach to uncertainty is about embracing life in all its unpredictability, seeing it as a source of growth rather than a cause for fear. One of the most powerful ways to master life's uncertainties is through the practice of acceptance. Acceptance, in the Stoic sense, is not about passive resignation, but about actively embracing reality as it is, without resistance or denial. This means acknowledging that uncertainty is a natural part of life, and that our peace of mind depends not on eliminating uncertainty, but on learning to live with it. Imagine the freedom that comes from true acceptance. Instead of wasting energy on trying to control every aspect of your life, you focus on what is within your power, your thoughts, actions, and responses. This shift in focus allows you to approach life with greater ease, knowing that you are equipped to handle whatever comes your way. Acceptance is not about giving up on your goals or aspirations. It's about recognizing that life is full of twists and turns, and that your well-being does not depend on everything going according to plan. This acceptance is closely tied to the Stoic concept of amor fati, or love of fate. Amor fati encourages us to embrace everything that happens in our lives, even the things we did not choose or expect, as necessary and valuable. It's about seeing every event, no matter how difficult or unexpected, as an opportunity for growth and a step on the path to self-improvement. Consider how different your life would be if you approached every challenge with the mindset of amor fati. Instead of resisting or resenting the unexpected, you would welcome it as an integral part of your journey. Each obstacle becomes a chance to practice virtue, to strengthen your character, and to deepen your understanding of yourself and the world around you. This doesn't mean that you won't face difficulties, those are inevitable, but it does mean that you will be better equipped to handle them with grace and resilience. Another essential practice for mastering uncertainty is premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This Stoic technique involves mentally rehearsing potential challenges and difficulties before they happen. By imagining worst-case scenarios in advance, you prepare yourself to face them with calm and clarity if and when they arise. At first, this practice might seem counterintuitive or even negative. Why focus on what could go wrong when you could focus on what could go right? But the Stoics understood that by confronting your fears directly, you diminish their power over you. When you mentally prepare for the possibility of loss, failure, or disappointment, you reduce the shock and emotional impact if these events do occur. You become more resilient, more adaptable, and more confident in your ability to handle life's challenges. Think about the strength and composure that come from knowing you are prepared for whatever might happen. Instead of being caught off guard by unexpected events, you meet them with a sense of readiness and calm. Premeditatio malorum is not about dwelling on worst-case scenarios, but about building the mental and emotional resilience needed to navigate uncertainty with ease. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of focusing on what is within our control and letting go of what is not. This principle, known as the dichotomy of control, is central to Stoic philosophy. When you focus only on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and responses, you free yourself from the anxiety that comes from trying to manage the uncontrollable aspects of life. Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you let go of the need to control everything around you. So often, we waste time and energy worrying about things that are beyond our influence, the opinions of others, the outcomes of our efforts, the future itself. But when you embrace the dichotomy of control, you redirect your focus to what truly matters: your own mind, your own behavior, your own choices. This shift in focus is incredibly empowering. It allows you to approach life's uncertainties with a sense of calm and purpose, knowing that while you cannot control everything that happens, you can control how you respond. This mindset not only reduces stress and anxiety, but also enhances your ability to navigate the unpredictable nature of life with confidence and clarity. A key element in mastering uncertainty is the practice of mindfulness and presence. In a world where the future is always uncertain, the present moment is all we truly have. The Stoics understood this well and taught that by focusing on the present, we can reduce anxiety and stress and become more effective in dealing with whatever challenges arise. Mindfulness in the Stoic tradition is about being fully aware and engaged in the present moment, rather than being distracted by worries about the future or regrets about the past. When you practice mindfulness, you train your mind to stay grounded in the here and now, where your true power lies. This practice not only enhances your enjoyment of life, but also builds the mental resilience needed to face uncertainty with grace and composure. Imagine the peace that comes from living fully in the present moment. Instead of being consumed by fears about what might happen, you focus on what is happening right now, on the actions you can take, the choices you can make, and the experiences you can savor. This focus on the present not only helps you navigate uncertainty more effectively, but also enriches your experience of life, allowing you to find joy and meaning in each moment. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of cultivating inner virtues as a way of navigating life's uncertainties. Virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance provide a solid foundation that remains steady even when external circumstances are unpredictable. When you focus on living a life of virtue, You build a sense of inner strength and stability that carries you through life's challenges with ease. Consider the difference between a life built on external achievements and one built on inner virtues. The former is vulnerable to the whims of fate. When circumstances change, so does your happiness. But the latter is resilient and enduring because it is rooted in something that cannot be taken away: your own character and integrity. By focusing on cultivating virtues, you create a source of strength and stability that is unshaken by the uncertainties of life. Imagine how empowering it is to know that your peace of mind does not depend on the ever-changing circumstances of life, but on the unchanging values you hold within. This inner strength gives you the resilience to face uncertainty with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you can remain true to yourself and your principles. Acceptance of what is beyond your control is another key aspect of the Stoic approach to uncertainty. The Stoics teach us that while we can influence our own actions and attitudes, there are many things in life that we cannot change, such as the actions of others, the outcomes of situations, or the course of events. When we accept this reality, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. This acceptance is not about giving up or resigning yourself to fate. It's about focusing your energy on what you can change: your own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By letting go of the need to control everything around you, you create space for peace and clarity to emerge. You become more adaptable, more resilient, and more at ease with the uncertainties of life. Imagine the relief that comes from letting go of the need to control every aspect of your life. Instead of being constantly stressed and anxious about what might happen, you focus on what you can do in the present moment, trusting that you have the strength and wisdom to handle whatever comes your way. This acceptance is a key component of mastering life's uncertainties. It allows you to navigate the unpredictable nature of life with a sense of calm and purpose. Another important aspect of the Stoic approach to uncertainty is the concept of detachment. Detachment, in the Stoic sense, is not about withdrawing from life or becoming indifferent to the world around you. Instead, it is about maintaining a healthy emotional distance from outcomes and external events, recognizing that your happiness and well-being are not dependent on these things. The Stoics teach that by practicing detachment, we free ourselves from the emotional turbulence that often accompanies life's uncertainties. When we are overly attached to a specific outcome, we set ourselves up for disappointment and distress if things do not go as planned. But when we cultivate detachment, we learn to accept whatever happens with equanimity, knowing that our inner peace is not tied to any particular result. Consider how much more peaceful your life would be if you were able to let go of your attachment to specific outcomes. Instead of being driven by a constant need for things to turn out a certain way, you would be able to approach life with a sense of openness and flexibility, ready to adapt to whatever comes your way. Detachment allows you to remain calm and centered, even in the face of uncertainty, because you understand that your true happiness lies within you, not in external events. This practice of detachment is closely related to the Stoic concept of the indifference of externals. The Stoics taught that external things, such as wealth, status, and even health, are indifferent, meaning that they are neither good nor bad in themselves. What matters is how we use them and how we respond to them. By practicing detachment, we learn to see these externals for what they are: tools that can be used for good or ill, but that do not define our worth or happiness. Another powerful tool for mastering life's uncertainties is the practice of self-reflection. The Stoics believed that regular self-examination was essential for living a virtuous and fulfilling life. By taking time each day to reflect on your thoughts, actions, and experiences, you gain insight into your own behavior and motivations, and you become more aware of how you are responding to the uncertainties of life. Self-reflection allows you to identify patterns in your thinking and behavior that may be holding you back or causing you unnecessary stress. It helps you to see where you are clinging to control or resisting acceptance, and to make conscious choices that align with your values and goals. Through self-reflection, you develop a deeper understanding of yourself and your relationship with the world around you, which in turn strengthens your ability to navigate uncertainty with grace and clarity. Imagine the clarity and peace that come from regularly examining your own mind and heart. Instead of reacting to life's uncertainties on autopilot, you become more intentional in your responses, choosing to act in ways that reflect your true self and your deepest values. This practice not only enhances your self-awareness, but also builds the mental and emotional resilience needed to face the unpredictable nature of life with confidence. The Stoic approach to mastering life's uncertainties is not a one-time fix, but a lifelong practice. It requires patience, perseverance, and a deep commitment to living a life of virtue and purpose. But the rewards are immense. With each step you take on this path, you will find yourself becoming stronger, more adaptable, and more deeply connected to the true source of lasting happiness within you. This journey is not about eliminating uncertainty from your life. That is impossible. It is about learning to embrace uncertainty as a natural and necessary part of the human experience. It is about cultivating a mindset that is unshakable, one that allows you to move through life's challenges with calm and clarity, knowing that you have the inner resources to handle whatever comes your way. As you continue to practice these Stoic techniques, may you find the peace and clarity that come from truly mastering life's uncertainties. May you carry that sense of purpose and joy with you every step of the way, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the strength and wisdom to navigate the unknown with grace and resilience. This is the power of the Stoic approach to life, a power that transforms not just your experience of uncertainty, but your entire experience of life itself. As you embrace the Stoic approach to navigating life's uncertainties with resilience and wisdom, it becomes evident that cultivating a balanced and fulfilled life is not about grand gestures or occasional breakthroughs. Instead, it's found in the quiet, consistent practices that shape your daily life. The Stoics understood that the way you live each day is the way you live your life. It's the small, deliberate actions taken day after day that accumulate to create a life of meaning, balance, and inner peace. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear sense of purpose, knowing that the actions you take today will not only guide you through the uncertainties of life, but also nurture your soul, keeping you grounded in what truly matters. This sense of purpose doesn't come from reacting to life's demands as they arise. It comes from living with intention, from integrating rituals into your daily routine that anchor you in your values and align you with your deepest goals. These daily rituals are not about adding more tasks to your already busy life. They're about simplifying, focusing, and creating space for what is most important. They help you to center your mind, calm your emotions, and find balance in the midst of life's demands. Through these practices, you cultivate a life that is not just reactive, but deeply proactive. A life where fulfillment and peace are not just hopes for the future, but realities of the present. One of the most fundamental Stoic rituals is the practice of morning reflection. The Stoics believed that the way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Morning reflection is a time to ground yourself in your principles, to remind yourself of what matters most, and to prepare your mind for the challenges ahead. This practice is not just about planning your day, but about aligning your thoughts and intentions with the values that guide your life. Imagine beginning each day in quiet contemplation, asking yourself questions like, what is within my control today? How can I act with wisdom and virtue in the face of whatever challenges arise? What opportunities do I have to practice kindness, patience, and resilience? This kind of reflection helps you to approach your day with clarity and focus, ensuring that your actions are guided by intention rather than impulse. Another vital daily practice is the evening review. Just as the morning reflection sets the stage for your day, the evening review allows you to close it with mindfulness and self-awareness. The Stoics believed that regularly examining your thoughts, actions, and experiences was essential for growth and self-improvement. The evening review is a time to look back on your day, to acknowledge your successes, to learn from your mistakes, and to prepare for the day to come. Imagine ending each day by asking yourself, what did I do well today? Where did I fall short? How can I improve tomorrow? This practice is not about self-criticism or dwelling on the negative, but about honest reflection and the commitment to continuous growth. By regularly engaging in this ritual, you deepen your understanding of yourself, refine your actions, and cultivate a life of virtue and fulfillment. Another key ritual in the Stoic daily routine is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness, in the Stoic sense, is about being fully present in each moment, paying attention to your thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment. It's about cultivating a state of awareness that allows you to respond to life with clarity and purpose, rather than reacting impulsively to external events. Imagine the peace that comes from being fully engaged in whatever you are doing, whether it's a simple task like washing the dishes or a more complex one like making a difficult decision. Mindfulness helps you to stay grounded in the present moment, to act with intention, and to appreciate the simple joys of life. It also builds resilience, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with a calm and steady mind. Gratitude is another essential Stoic ritual that can bring balance and fulfillment to your life. The Stoics believed that happiness comes not from getting what you want, but from wanting what you have. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking in your life to what is abundant. It helps you to appreciate the small blessings that are often overlooked in the pursuit of more. Imagine taking a few moments each day to reflect on the things you are grateful for. This simple practice can transform your perspective, helping you to see the good in every situation, even in the midst of challenges. Gratitude nurtures a sense of contentment and peace, reminding you that you already have everything you need to live a fulfilled life. Another powerful Stoic ritual is the practice of journaling. The Stoics often kept journals as a way of processing their thoughts, recording their experiences, and refining their understanding of the world. Journaling is a space for self-reflection, for exploring your thoughts and emotions, and for gaining clarity on your values and goals. Imagine sitting down each day to write about your experiences, your challenges, your successes, and your thoughts on how to live a virtuous life. This practice not only helps you to process your emotions and experiences, but also deepens your self-awareness and strengthens your commitment to living according to your principles. Journaling is a tool for growth, helping you to learn from each day and to carry those lessons forward into the next. The practice of detachment is another Stoic ritual that promotes balance and inner peace. Detachment, in the Stoic sense, is not about withdrawing from life or becoming indifferent to the world around you. Instead, it's about maintaining a healthy emotional distance from outcomes and external events, recognizing that your happiness and well-being are not dependent on these things. Imagine approaching your day with a sense of detachment, not in a cold or uncaring way, but with a recognition that you cannot control everything that happens. This practice allows you to focus on what is within your control, your own thoughts, actions, and responses, while letting go of the need to control or worry about external outcomes. Detachment frees you from the emotional turbulence that often accompanies life's uncertainties, allowing you to remain calm and centered no matter what happens. Finally, the practice of self-care is an essential Stoic ritual that often goes overlooked. The Stoics understood that taking care of your body and mind is crucial for living a balanced and fulfilling life. Self-care is not about indulgence or escape. It's about nourishing your physical, mental, and emotional well-being so that you can live with purpose and vitality. Imagine making time each day for activities that nurture your body and soul, whether it's exercise, meditation, reading, or spending time in nature. This practice helps you to maintain your energy and focus, to manage stress, and to stay connected to what truly matters. By prioritizing self-care, you create a strong foundation for living a life of balance, fulfillment, and inner peace. These daily rituals, grounded in Stoic philosophy, are not about rigidly adhering to a set of rules or adding more to your to-do list. They are about creating space in your life for what truly matters: your values, your growth, your well-being. They help you to center your mind, calm your emotions, and find balance in the midst of life's demands. Through these practices, you cultivate a life that is not just reactive, but deeply proactive. A life where fulfillment and peace are not just hopes for the future, but realities of the present. Morning reflection, evening review, mindfulness, gratitude, journaling, detachment, and self-care. These are the rituals that form the foundation of a balanced and fulfilled life. Each one is a small, deliberate action that, when practiced consistently, transforms the way you live. These rituals are not just habits, they are expressions of your deepest values, practices that align your daily life with your highest goals. Imagine the cumulative effect of these rituals on your life. Day by day, they help you to stay grounded in your principles, to navigate life's challenges with clarity and grace, and to find fulfillment in the simple, everyday moments. They bring you closer to your true self, helping you to live a life that is not just busy or productive, but meaningful and purposeful. As you integrate these rituals into your daily routine, you begin to notice subtle but profound changes in your life. You feel more centered, more focused, more at peace. You start to see each day as an opportunity for growth, for learning, for practicing virtue. You find that even in the midst of life's demands and uncertainties, you can maintain a sense of balance and inner calm. These rituals are not magic formulas or quick fixes. They are practices that require commitment, patience, and perseverance, but the rewards are immense. With each day that you practice, you deepen your connection to your values, strengthen your resilience, and cultivate a sense of fulfillment that is not dependent on external circumstances, but is rooted in your own inner strength and wisdom. As you continue on this journey of integrating Stoic rituals into your daily life, remember that it's not about perfection, but about progress. It's about making small, deliberate choices each day that align your life with your deepest values and highest goals. It's about creating a life that is not just about getting through the day, but about living each day with intention, with purpose, and with a deep sense of fulfillment. Through these Stoic rituals, you can build a life that is balanced, resilient, and deeply satisfying. A life where you wake up each morning with a sense of purpose and go to bed each night with a sense of peace. A life where you are not just surviving but thriving, where each day is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to live fully. As you incorporate these practices into your daily routine, May you find the balance and fulfillment that come from living a life of purpose and intention. May you carry that sense of peace and clarity with you every step of the way, knowing that through these rituals you are creating a life that is not only meaningful but truly worth living. As you continue to cultivate daily rituals that bring balance and fulfillment into your life, you begin to understand that true contentment and peace are not found in the external world, but within yourself. The Stoic practices you've embraced are guiding you toward a life of purpose and inner tranquility, yet there is another essential step on this journey: freeing yourself from the need for external validation. In a world that often measures worth by external achievements and the approval of others, learning to find inner strength and self-worth is not just liberating, it's transformative. Imagine the freedom that comes from no longer needing others' approval to feel good about yourself. Picture a life where your sense of worth is not tied to the praise, opinions, or recognition of others, but is grounded in something much deeper: your own values, actions, and integrity. This is the kind of strength that Stoicism helps you build, a strength that is unshakable because it comes from within and is not dependent on the changing tides of external circumstances. The desire for external validation is a natural part of being human. We all want to be liked, admired, and respected. However, when our self-worth becomes tied to these external sources, we hand over control of our happiness to forces outside ourselves. We become vulnerable to the opinions and judgments of others, which can change on a whim. The Stoics teach us that true strength comes from within, from aligning our lives with our values and living with integrity, regardless of what others think or say. Consider how much time and energy is spent worrying about what others think, whether it's seeking approval at work, craving validation from friends or family, or measuring success by societal standards. This constant pursuit of external affirmation can be exhausting. More importantly, it can lead you away from your true self as you shape your actions and decisions based on what you think others want from you rather than what is truly right for you. But what if you could break free from this cycle? What if you could learn to find your self-worth not in the eyes of others, but in the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are living a life of integrity? This is the freedom that Stoicism offers, a path to inner strength that is built not on the shifting sands of external approval, but on the solid foundation of your own values and principles. One of the first steps in breaking free from the need for external validation is understanding the concept of the dichotomy of control, which we have already explored. This Stoic principle teaches that there are things in life we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and responses, and things we cannot control, such as the opinions and actions of others. By focusing on what is within our control and letting go of the rest, we reclaim our power and begin to build our self-worth from within. Imagine the strength that comes from focusing solely on what you can control. Instead of seeking approval from others, you turn inward and ask yourself, am I living in accordance with my values? Am I acting with integrity? Am I true to myself? These are the questions that matter, and they are the ones that lead to true inner strength. When you align your actions with your values, you create a sense of self-worth that is independent of others' opinions. You know who you are, and that knowledge is enough. Another key aspect of finding inner strength is practicing self-acceptance. The Stoics believed that accepting yourself as you are, imperfections and all, is crucial for building a strong and resilient character. This doesn't mean settling for mediocrity or avoiding self-improvement. Rather, it means acknowledging your flaws and limitations without allowing them to define your worth. Self-acceptance is about understanding that you are a work in progress and that your value comes not from being perfect, but from your commitment to growth and integrity. Consider the peace that comes from accepting yourself fully. When you no longer feel the need to hide your flaws or seek validation from others to feel worthy, you free yourself from the fear of judgment. You become more authentic, more confident, and more at peace with yourself. This inner acceptance is the foundation of true strength. It allows you to stand tall in the face of criticism, knowing that your worth is not dependent on the opinions of others, but is rooted in your own sense of self. In addition to self-acceptance, the practice of self-reflection plays a vital role in building inner strength. The Stoics emphasize the importance of regularly examining your thoughts, actions, and motivations. This self-reflection helps you to understand why you seek validation from others and to recognize the moments when you are acting out of a desire for approval rather than from a place of integrity. Imagine the clarity that comes from regularly reflecting on your actions and motivations. As you examine your behavior, you begin to see patterns, times when you compromised your values to gain approval, or when you felt unworthy because of others' opinions. By bringing these patterns into the light, you can begin to change them, to shift your focus away from seeking external validation and toward living a life that is true to yourself. This self-reflection also helps you to build self-awareness, which is crucial for inner strength. When you are aware of your own thoughts and motivations, you are better equipped to resist the pull of external validation. You become more attuned to your own needs and desires, and more capable of making decisions that are aligned with your true self, rather than being swayed by the expectations or opinions of others. Another powerful tool for building inner strength is the practice of detachment, which we touched on earlier. Detachment, in the context of Stoicism, is about letting go of the need for external validation and focusing instead on your own actions and values. It's about recognizing that your worth is not determined by others' approval, but by your own integrity and commitment to living a virtuous life. Imagine the freedom that comes from detaching yourself from others' opinions. When you are no longer seeking validation from outside sources, you are free to act in accordance with your own values, without fear of judgment or rejection. This detachment allows you to stay true to yourself, to make decisions based on what is right for you, rather than what will please others. It is this inner strength that allows you to navigate life with confidence and peace, knowing that your worth is not contingent on external approval. The practice of gratitude is another Stoic ritual that can help you build inner strength and self-worth. By focusing on what you have and appreciating the good in your life, you shift your attention away from what you lack or what others think of you. Gratitude helps you to cultivate a sense of contentment and abundance, reminding you that your worth is not measured by external achievements or recognition, but by the simple joys and blessings that surround you. Consider how your perspective changes when you focus on gratitude rather than seeking validation. Instead of striving for more approval, more praise, or more recognition, you begin to see the value in what you already have. You appreciate the love, the opportunities, and the experiences that make your life rich and meaningful. This shift in focus helps you to build a sense of self-worth that is grounded in reality, rather than in the fleeting opinions of others. Gratitude also helps you to develop humility, which is a key component of inner strength. When you are grateful for what you have, you recognize that your worth is not tied to external success or validation, but to your own character and actions. You become more focused on what truly matters, living with integrity, kindness, and wisdom, rather than on impressing others or seeking their approval. The Stoic practice of focusing on virtue is another essential aspect of building inner strength. The Stoics believed that true happiness and fulfillment come not from external achievements or recognition, but from living a life of virtue. Virtue, in the Stoic sense, means acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, qualities that are within your control and that define your character. Imagine how empowering it is to base your sense of worth on your own virtues rather than on external validation. When you focus on living according to your values, you create a sense of inner strength that is unshakable. You know that your worth is not dependent on others' opinions, but on your own actions and character. This focus on virtue helps you to stay grounded in who you are, to make decisions that are true to yourself, and to build a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. Over time, as you continue to practice these Stoic principles, you'll find that your need for external validation diminishes. You become more confident in your own worth, more secure in your own identity, and more at peace with yourself. This inner strength allows you to navigate life with grace and resilience, knowing that your self-worth is not dependent on external factors, but is rooted in your own integrity and commitment to living a virtuous life. This journey toward inner strength is not about becoming indifferent to others' opinions or isolating yourself from the world. It's about finding a balance between valuing the input and feedback of others and maintaining your own sense of self-worth. It's about recognizing that while external validation can be affirming, it is not the foundation of your worth. The foundation of your worth is your own character, your own actions, and your own commitment to living a life of integrity. Imagine the freedom that comes from knowing that you are enough just as you are. When you no longer rely on others' approval to feel good about yourself, you are free to live authentically, to make decisions that are true to your values, and to pursue your goals with confidence. This inner strength allows you to face challenges with resilience, to stand up for what you believe in, and to live a life that is fulfilling and meaningful. As you continue to build this inner strength, you'll find that your relationships with others also improve. When you are not seeking validation or approval, you are free to connect with others in a more authentic and meaningful way. You can give and receive love and support without the need for affirmation or recognition. Your relationships become based on mutual respect and genuine connection, rather than on the need for validation. This shift in perspective also allows you to approach challenges and setbacks with greater resilience. When your self-worth is not tied to external approval, you are less affected by criticism or failure. You can view these experiences as opportunities for growth and learning, rather than as threats to your worth. This resilience helps you to stay focused on your goals, to persevere in the face of obstacles, and to maintain a positive outlook, even in difficult times. The Stoic path to inner strength is a journey of self-discovery, self-acceptance, and self-empowerment. It's about learning to find your worth within yourself, rather than in the eyes of others. It's about building a life that is grounded in your own values, guided by your own principles, and driven by your own sense of purpose. As you continue on this journey, remember that building inner strength is not about becoming invulnerable or isolated. It's about becoming more connected to your true self, more confident in your own worth, and more capable of living a life that is authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling. It's about finding the strength within yourself to live with integrity, to face challenges with courage, and to find peace in the knowledge that your worth is not determined by others, but by your own actions and character. As you journey deeper into the wisdom of Stoicism, embracing its teachings to cultivate inner strength and resilience, you begin to notice how these principles transform your life. The rituals, the focus on inner virtues, and the detachment from external validation all contribute to a life of greater peace, purpose, and fulfillment. However, as with any philosophy that has endured for centuries, Stoicism is not immune to misunderstandings and misconceptions. These misconceptions can act as barriers, preventing you from fully embracing its teachings and experiencing its true benefits. Imagine striving to live by Stoic principles, only to find yourself tangled in confusion and misinterpretation. It's a common experience. Many people approach Stoicism with preconceived notions that obscure its real meaning and potential. These misconceptions can lead to a distorted view of what Stoicism truly offers, making it seem cold, overly rigid, or disconnected from the complexities of modern life. But by addressing and overcoming these misunderstandings, you open the door to a deeper, more authentic engagement with Stoicism, allowing its wisdom to genuinely transform your life. One of the most prevalent misconceptions about Stoicism is the idea that it advocates for emotionlessness, that to be Stoic is to suppress or deny your emotions. This notion couldn't be further from the truth. Stoicism does not teach us to become unfeeling robots. Rather, it teaches us to manage our emotions with wisdom and control, not to be controlled by them. The Stoics recognized the importance of emotions and the role they play in our lives, but they also understood the danger of letting emotions run unchecked. They encouraged a balanced approach, where emotions are acknowledged and felt, but not allowed to dictate our actions or overwhelm our reason. Imagine the relief of knowing that Stoicism does not demand that you suppress your feelings, but rather that you develop the strength to handle them wisely. This approach allows you to experience your emotions fully, while also cultivating the resilience to maintain your inner peace, no matter what emotional storms you face. Instead of viewing emotions as weaknesses to be eliminated, Stoicism helps you to see them as natural and necessary parts of the human experience, parts that can be harnessed to enrich your life rather than derail it. Another common misconception is that Stoicism is a pessimistic philosophy that encourages a grim, joyless existence. This misunderstanding arises from the Stoic practice of negative visualization and the emphasis on accepting life's difficulties. However, the Stoics did not advocate for a life devoid of joy. Rather, they believed that true joy comes from living in accordance with virtue, from finding contentment within, and from appreciating the simple pleasures of life. They taught that by accepting the reality of life's challenges, we can free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and find deeper, more lasting happiness. Consider how liberating it is to realize that Stoicism does not ask you to reject joy, but to seek a deeper, more enduring form of it. By practicing gratitude, cultivating inner peace, and living with purpose, you discover that joy is not something that depends on external circumstances, but something that arises naturally from within. The Stoics understood that true happiness is not found in fleeting pleasures or material wealth, but in the tranquility that comes from living a life of virtue and wisdom. Another significant misconception about Stoicism is the belief that it promotes passive resignation to life's events, that it teaches us to accept whatever happens without taking action or striving for improvement. This is a misunderstanding of the Stoic concept of acceptance. The Stoics did teach that we should accept what we cannot control, but they also emphasized the importance of taking action where we can. Stoicism is a philosophy of active engagement with the world, one that encourages us to live fully, to pursue our goals with determination, and to make a positive impact in the lives of others. Imagine the empowerment that comes from understanding that Stoicism is not about passive acceptance, but about actively choosing how you respond to life's challenges. It's about recognizing where your power lies and using it to create a life that reflects your values and aspirations. By embracing this active approach, you can find the strength to face adversity with courage and to pursue your goals with confidence, knowing that you are not at the mercy of fate, but are actively shaping your own destiny. A related misconception is the idea that Stoicism is a solitary or individualistic philosophy, one that encourages isolation and detachment from others. While Stoicism does teach the importance of self-reliance and inner strength, it also emphasizes the value of community, relationships, and service to others. The Stoics believed that we are all interconnected and that true fulfillment comes not from withdrawing from the world, but from engaging with it in meaningful ways. They taught that we have a responsibility to contribute to the well-being of others, to act with kindness and justice, and to build strong, supportive relationships. Imagine the richness of a life lived in connection with others, guided by Stoic principles of compassion, justice, and mutual support. Far from advocating isolation, Stoicism encourages us to build a life that is deeply connected to the people around us, to contribute to the greater good, and to find fulfillment in service to others. This understanding helps you to see that Stoicism is not a philosophy of withdrawal, but one of active, engaged living, one that values relationships and community as essential components of a well-lived life. Another common misconception is that Stoicism is overly rigid or dogmatic, leaving no room for personal interpretation or flexibility. Some people see Stoicism as a set of strict rules that must be followed to the letter, without deviation or personal input. However, Stoicism is not about adhering to a rigid code. It's about applying timeless principles to the unique circumstances of your life. The Stoics themselves were not dogmatic. They encouraged critical thinking, self-reflection, and the adaptation of Stoic principles to fit the challenges and opportunities of the moment. Imagine the freedom that comes from knowing that Stoicism is not a one-size-fits-all philosophy, but a flexible, adaptable framework for living. By understanding the core principles of Stoicism, such as the importance of virtue, the focus on what is within your control, and the value of inner peace, you can apply these ideas in ways that resonate with your own experiences and goals. This approach allows you to make Stoicism your own, to live its teachings in a way that is authentic and meaningful to you. A particularly insidious misconception is the idea that Stoicism is a philosophy of indifference or apathy, that it teaches us to be detached from life, to care less about the things that matter. This misunderstanding arises from the Stoic emphasis on detachment and the focus on inner peace. However, Stoicism does not advocate for apathy. It teaches us to care deeply about the right things. The Stoics believed that we should care about virtue, justice, and the well-being of others, but that we should not be overly attached to outcomes or material possessions. Imagine how your life changes when you shift your focus from caring about external validation to caring about living a life of virtue and integrity. Instead of becoming indifferent or apathetic, you become more deeply engaged with the things that truly matter. You learn to care about your actions, your relationships, and your impact on the world, without becoming overly attached to the things you cannot control. This approach allows you to live with passion and purpose, while maintaining the inner peace that comes from detachment from unnecessary concerns. Another common misconception is that Stoicism is a masculine or male-dominated philosophy, relevant only to men and focused on traditionally masculine virtues like toughness and stoicism in the modern sense. While it is true that many of the most famous Stoics were men, Stoicism itself is a universal philosophy, relevant to all people, regardless of gender. Stoic virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance are not gender-specific. They are human virtues that can be cultivated by anyone. Imagine the inclusivity of a philosophy that speaks to the universal human experience, that offers guidance and support to all people, regardless of their background or identity. By understanding that Stoicism is not limited to any one gender or group, you can embrace its teachings in a way that resonates with your own experiences and aspirations. This perspective helps you to see Stoicism as a philosophy of empowerment, one that encourages everyone to live with integrity, courage, and compassion. A further misconception is that Stoicism is outdated or irrelevant in the modern world, that its teachings are too ancient to apply to contemporary life. While Stoicism originated in ancient Greece and Rome, its principles are timeless, addressing the fundamental challenges of the human condition. In fact, many of the issues we face today, stress, anxiety, uncertainty, and the search for meaning, are the very issues that Stoicism was designed to address. Imagine the relevance of a philosophy that offers practical solutions to the challenges of modern life, that provides tools for managing stress, cultivating resilience, and finding peace in a chaotic world. By overcoming the misconception that Stoicism is outdated, you open yourself up to its profound insights and practical applications. You discover that Stoicism is not just a philosophy of the past, but a living tradition that can help you navigate the complexities of the present and future. Another misconception is that Stoicism requires a life of self-denial or asceticism, that it demands a rejection of pleasure and comfort in favor of a harsh, austere existence. While the Stoics did advocate for moderation and self-discipline, they did not reject pleasure or comfort outright. Instead, they taught that we should enjoy these things with wisdom and temperance, without becoming dependent on them for our happiness. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, from living a life of virtue and purpose, not from external pleasures or comforts. Imagine the balance that comes from enjoying life's pleasures without becoming attached to them, from appreciating comfort without relying on it for your sense of well-being. By understanding that Stoicism is not about self-denial, but about wise and balanced living, you can embrace its teachings in a way that enhances your life, allowing you to enjoy the good things in life without losing sight of what truly matters. Finally, one of the most persistent misconceptions about Stoicism is that it is a philosophy of isolation or withdrawal, that it encourages a retreat from the world and a focus solely on the self. While Stoicism does emphasize the importance of inner strength and self-reliance, it also teaches that we are all part of a larger community and that our actions should contribute to the greater good. The Stoics believed that we have a responsibility to engage with the world, to act with justice and compassion, and to make a positive impact on the lives of others. Imagine the fulfillment that comes from living a life that is both self-aware and outwardly engaged, from finding strength within yourself while also contributing to the well-being of others. By overcoming the misconception that Stoicism is a philosophy of isolation, you can embrace its teachings in a way that fosters connection, compassion, and community. You discover that Stoicism is not just about self-improvement, but about making a positive difference in the world around you. As you continue to explore and practice Stoicism, it's essential to recognize and overcome these common misconceptions. By doing so, you open yourself up to the true depth and power of Stoic philosophy, allowing it to enrich your life in ways you may not have thought possible. Stoicism is not a cold, rigid, or outdated philosophy. It is a living tradition that offers timeless wisdom for navigating the complexities of life with grace, resilience, and inner strength. Through Stoicism, you learn to find your worth within yourself, to live with integrity and purpose, and to build a life that is both balanced and fulfilling. You discover that true happiness comes not from external validation or material success, but from living a life that is aligned with your deepest values and highest aspirations. This is the gift of Stoicism, a gift that continues to inspire and empower people across the centuries, offering a path to a life well lived. As you move beyond the common misconceptions about Stoicism, you've begun to see the philosophy for what it truly is: a powerful framework for living a life of virtue, wisdom, and resilience. You've started to align your life with these timeless principles, but the real test of Stoicism, and perhaps its greatest gift, lies in its ability to help you maintain inner peace and calmness, even in the most chaotic situations. Life is full of unexpected challenges, moments when everything seems to spiral out of control, leaving you feeling overwhelmed and powerless. But Stoicism offers a different path, one where you can find calm in the midst of chaos and maintain your inner stability no matter what is happening around you. Imagine being able to navigate through life's storms with a sense of calm and clarity, unshaken by the turbulence around you. This is not about denying the reality of difficult situations or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. Instead, it's about cultivating a mindset that allows you to remain centered and composed, even when everything else seems to be falling apart. The Stoics believed that while we cannot always control the external events in our lives, we can control how we respond to them. This is where true power lies, not in changing the world around us, but in mastering our own minds. The concept of acting as if you are calm in chaos is not just about faking it until you make it, but about genuinely cultivating an inner state of peace that can withstand the pressures of the external world. It's about training your mind to remain steady, even when faced with uncertainty, fear, or overwhelming challenges. The Stoics knew that life would inevitably throw us into situations where we feel out of control, but they also knew that it is precisely in these moments that our true character is tested and forged. To begin cultivating this sense of calm in chaos, one of the first Stoic techniques to practice is the dichotomy of control. This concept, which we've touched on before, is central to maintaining inner peace. The dichotomy of control teaches that there are things in life we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and things we cannot control, external events, the actions of others, and the outcomes of our efforts. By focusing on what we can control and letting go of the rest, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and anxiety. Imagine the relief that comes from letting go of the need to control everything around you. When you accept that certain things are beyond your control, you stop wasting energy on them and instead direct your focus to what you can influence. This shift in perspective allows you to approach chaotic situations with a clear mind, making thoughtful decisions rather than reacting impulsively out of fear or frustration. The dichotomy of control is not about giving up, but about recognizing where your power truly lies. Another powerful Stoic technique for maintaining calm in chaos is the practice of negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum. This practice involves mentally rehearsing potential challenges and difficulties before they happen. By imagining worst-case scenarios, you prepare yourself emotionally and mentally for whatever may come, reducing the shock and impact when difficulties arise. This doesn't mean dwelling on negative possibilities, but rather acknowledging that challenges are a part of life and that you have the inner resources to face them. Consider how this practice changes your approach to difficult situations. Instead of being blindsided by unexpected events, you meet them with a sense of preparedness and calm. Negative visualization helps you to build resilience, allowing you to remain composed even when things don't go as planned. It's a way of inoculating yourself against the chaos of life, ensuring that you are not easily thrown off balance. Mindfulness is another essential Stoic practice for maintaining inner peace. In chaotic situations, it's easy to get lost in the rush of emotions and thoughts, to become overwhelmed by the sheer volume of what's happening around you. Mindfulness, however, brings you back to the present moment, helping you to stay grounded in reality rather than being swept away by anxiety or fear. Imagine being fully present in the midst of chaos, aware of your thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them. When you practice mindfulness, you create a space between stimulus and response, allowing yourself to choose your actions thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This practice not only helps you to stay calm, but also enhances your ability to make effective decisions under pressure. Mindfulness is not about ignoring the chaos, but about engaging with it in a way that is clear, calm, and centered. In addition to mindfulness, the Stoics emphasized the importance of rational thinking, particularly in chaotic situations. When chaos strikes, it's natural to feel overwhelmed and to react emotionally. However, the Stoics believed that reason is our greatest tool for navigating difficult circumstances. By taking a step back and analyzing the situation logically, you can regain control over your emotions and make decisions that are guided by wisdom rather than fear. Imagine the power of approaching chaos with a rational mind. Instead of being paralyzed by fear or swept up in the emotional intensity of the moment, you calmly assess the situation, identify what needs to be done, and take action with confidence. Rational thinking helps you to see things as they are, without the distortions of fear or panic, allowing you to respond in a way that is both effective and aligned with your values. Another crucial aspect of maintaining inner peace in chaos is the practice of detachment. The Stoics taught that while we should care deeply about the things that matter, we should also cultivate a sense of detachment from outcomes. This means doing your best in any given situation, but not becoming overly attached to the results. Detachment allows you to remain calm and composed, even when things don't go as planned, because you understand that your worth and happiness are not dependent on external outcomes. Imagine facing a challenging situation with a sense of detachment. You put forth your best effort, but you are not overly concerned with the outcome. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means that you recognize the limits of your control and that your peace of mind does not depend on external events. Detachment helps you to navigate chaos with a sense of inner stability, knowing that while you cannot control everything, you can control how you respond. The practice of gratitude is another powerful Stoic tool for maintaining inner peace in chaotic times. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is going wrong to what is still good in your life. It reminds you that even in the midst of chaos, there are things to be thankful for, whether it's the support of loved ones, the lessons you are learning, or simply the fact that you have the strength to face the challenges ahead. Imagine the impact of cultivating gratitude in the midst of chaos. Instead of being consumed by stress or anxiety, you take a moment to acknowledge the positive aspects of your life. This practice not only helps you to maintain a balanced perspective, but also fosters a sense of inner peace, reminding you that there is always something to be grateful for, even in the most difficult situations. Gratitude is a way of anchoring yourself in the present moment, keeping you grounded and centered no matter what is happening around you. Another Stoic technique for finding calm in chaos is the practice of self-reflection. The Stoics believed that regularly examining your thoughts, actions, and motivations was essential for personal growth and inner peace. In chaotic situations, self-reflection helps you to stay connected to your values and to ensure that your actions are aligned with them, even under pressure. Imagine taking a few moments each day to reflect on how you responded to the challenges you faced. Did you act with wisdom and integrity, or were you swept away by the chaos? What can you learn from your experiences, and how can you apply those lessons moving forward? This practice of self-reflection helps you to remain grounded in your values, even in the midst of chaos, and to continue growing and improving no matter what challenges you face. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of self-discipline as a means of maintaining inner peace in chaotic times. Self-discipline is the ability to control your impulses and to act in accordance with your principles, even when it's difficult. In chaotic situations, self-discipline helps you to stay focused on what truly matters and to avoid being pulled off course by distractions or temptations. Imagine the strength that comes from cultivating self-discipline. In the midst of chaos, you remain steady and focused, making decisions that are guided by your values rather than by the pressure of the moment. Self-discipline helps you to maintain your inner peace by ensuring that your actions are consistent with your principles, even when the world around you is in turmoil. Another powerful Stoic technique for maintaining calm in chaos is the practice of viewing obstacles as opportunities. The Stoics believed that every challenge, no matter how difficult, is an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. By changing your perspective on challenges, you can transform chaos into a catalyst for positive change. Imagine facing a chaotic situation, and instead of seeing it as a threat, you see it as an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn, and to become more resilient. This shift in perspective not only helps you to stay calm, but also empowers you to take positive action, turning adversity into an opportunity for self-improvement. By viewing obstacles as opportunities, you cultivate a mindset of resilience and optimism, allowing you to remain calm and focused no matter what challenges you face. The practice of Stoic meditation, or reflecting on Stoic principles and teachings, is another effective way to maintain inner peace in chaotic times. By regularly meditating on Stoic wisdom, you reinforce the principles that guide your life and strengthen your ability to apply them in difficult situations. Imagine setting aside time each day to meditate on Stoic teachings, such as the importance of virtue, the value of inner peace, and the power of rational thinking. This practice helps you to internalize these principles, making them a natural part of your thought process and actions. When chaos strikes, you are better prepared to respond with calm and clarity, drawing on the wisdom of Stoicism to guide you through the storm. In addition to meditation, the Stoics also valued the practice of writing and journaling as a means of maintaining inner peace. By writing down your thoughts, reflections, and challenges, you can gain clarity and perspective, helping you to navigate chaotic situations with a sense of calm and purpose. Imagine the clarity that comes from journaling about your experiences during chaotic times. By putting your thoughts and feelings into words, you can better understand them and identify patterns or habits that may be hindering your ability to remain calm. Journaling allows you to process your emotions in a healthy way, reducing the impact of stress and helping you to maintain your inner peace. The Stoics also taught the importance of physical and mental preparation as a means of maintaining calm in chaos. By regularly challenging yourself physically and mentally, you build the resilience and strength needed to face difficult situations with confidence and composure. Imagine the confidence that comes from knowing you are physically and mentally prepared for whatever challenges may come your way. By pushing yourself to grow and improve in times of calm, you build the resilience needed to remain steady in the face of chaos. This preparation not only enhances your ability to handle difficult situations, but also reinforces your inner peace, knowing that you have the strength and resources to overcome whatever obstacles you encounter. Another key aspect of maintaining calm in chaos is the practice of compassion, both for yourself and for others. The Stoics believed that by cultivating compassion, you can navigate difficult situations with a sense of grace and empathy, helping you to maintain your inner peace even in the midst of turmoil. Imagine the impact of approaching chaotic situations with compassion. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, you respond with understanding and kindness, both to yourself and to those around you. This practice not only helps you to maintain your inner peace, but also fosters positive relationships and a sense of community, even in the most challenging times. Finally, the Stoics emphasized the importance of living in accordance with nature as a means of maintaining inner peace in chaotic situations. This principle teaches that by aligning your actions with the natural order of the world, you can find a sense of harmony and peace, even in the midst of chaos. Imagine the peace that comes from living in harmony with nature, accepting the natural flow of life, and responding to challenges with grace and wisdom. By embracing this Stoic principle, you can find a sense of calm and stability, no matter what chaos you may encounter. As you continue to cultivate these Stoic techniques, you'll find that maintaining calm in chaos becomes not just an aspiration, but a reality. These practices help you to build a strong foundation of inner peace, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with grace, resilience, and wisdom. By acting as if you are calm in chaos, you transform your inner state, turning turmoil into an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. Through Stoicism, you learn that true power lies not in controlling the world around you, but in mastering your own mind. This is the key to maintaining inner peace in chaotic times, to act with calmness, clarity, and purpose, no matter what challenges you face. As you continue on your journey, may you carry these Stoic teachings with you, finding the strength and peace to remain calm in the face of chaos and to live a life of virtue and wisdom. This is the path to true inner strength, a path that leads not only to personal growth, but to a deeper, more meaningful connection with the world around you. As you've journeyed through the teachings of Stoicism, learning to maintain your calm amidst chaos and to cultivate inner peace in the most turbulent times, another profound truth begins to emerge: the importance of living with purpose and direction. It's one thing to navigate life's storms with grace and resilience, but what gives life its deepest meaning is the sense of purpose that guides your every action, the clear direction that steers you through each day. Stoicism offers not just tools for surviving life's challenges, but profound wisdom for creating a life that is purposeful, directed, and deeply fulfilling. Imagine waking up each day with a clear sense of why you're here, of what you're striving for, and how your actions align with your highest values. This isn't about rigidly adhering to a predetermined path or forcing yourself into a mold that doesn't fit. It's about discovering what truly matters to you and allowing that to guide your life's direction. Purpose and direction give your life a powerful sense of meaning, turning even the smallest tasks into expressions of your deeper values and goals. One of the most fundamental Stoic lessons for creating a life of purpose is understanding the importance of aligning your actions with your values. The Stoics believed that a life well lived is one where every action, no matter how small, is guided by your deepest principles. This means that your decisions, your relationships, your work, and even your leisure time should reflect the values that you hold most dear. Consider how different your life feels when every action is infused with purpose. You're not just going through the motions, but actively choosing to live in a way that reflects your values and beliefs. This alignment brings a deep sense of satisfaction and fulfillment, knowing that you are living true to yourself and your principles. It also provides a clear sense of direction, helping you to navigate life's challenges with confidence and clarity. Another key Stoic lesson for creating a life of purpose is the practice of self-reflection. The Stoics believed that regularly examining your thoughts, actions, and motivations is essential for living a life of purpose. By taking the time to reflect on your experiences, you gain insight into what truly matters to you, and how you can align your life more closely with your values. Imagine the clarity that comes from regularly reflecting on your life. As you examine your actions and decisions, you begin to see patterns and tendencies that either support or undermine your sense of purpose. This awareness allows you to make conscious choices that bring you closer to living a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. Self-reflection is not just about looking back, but about using that insight to guide your future actions, ensuring that each step you take is in the direction of your true purpose. The Stoics also teach the importance of focusing on what is within your control as a way of creating purpose and direction in your life. It's easy to get caught up in worrying about things that are beyond your influence, whether it's the actions of others, the outcome of events, or the future itself. But Stoicism reminds us that our true power lies in how we choose to respond to the situations we face, not in trying to control the uncontrollable. Imagine the freedom that comes from focusing solely on what you can control. Instead of being paralyzed by fear or indecision, you take deliberate action based on your values and goals. This focus not only reduces stress and anxiety, but also gives your life a clear sense of direction. You're no longer scattered or reactive, but intentional and purposeful in your actions, knowing that each decision is moving you closer to your true purpose. Another powerful Stoic lesson for living with purpose is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness, in the Stoic tradition, is about being fully present in each moment, aware of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. This presence helps you to stay connected to your purpose, ensuring that your actions are aligned with your values and goals. Imagine how your life changes when you approach each moment with mindfulness. Instead of being distracted by worries about the future or regrets about the past, you are fully engaged in the present, making decisions that are in line with your true purpose. This mindfulness helps you to stay on course, to live with intention and clarity, and to find meaning in even the smallest moments of your day. Gratitude is another essential Stoic practice for creating a life of purpose. The Stoics believed that true happiness and fulfillment come not from acquiring more, but from appreciating what you already have. By cultivating gratitude, you shift your focus from what is lacking in your life to what is abundant, helping you to see the purpose and meaning in your current circumstances. Imagine the impact of approaching each day with a sense of gratitude. Instead of constantly striving for more or feeling dissatisfied with where you are, you begin to appreciate the richness of your life as it is. This gratitude helps you to find purpose in the present moment, to see each day as an opportunity to live according to your values, and to find contentment and fulfillment in the here and now. Another key lesson from the Stoics is the importance of perseverance in the pursuit of your purpose. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and obstacles, and it's easy to become discouraged or lose sight of your goals. But the Stoics teach that perseverance, continuing to strive toward your purpose, even in the face of adversity, is essential for living a meaningful and fulfilling life. Imagine the strength and resilience that come from persevering in the pursuit of your goals. Even when faced with difficulties or failures, you remain committed to your purpose, knowing that each challenge is an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. This perseverance not only helps you to achieve your goals, but also deepens your sense of purpose and fulfillment as you see the progress you are making and the impact you are having on the world. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of living in harmony with nature as a way of creating purpose and direction in your life. This principle teaches that by aligning your actions with the natural order of the world, you can find a sense of harmony and peace, even in the midst of life's challenges. Imagine the peace that comes from living in alignment with the natural flow of life. Instead of fighting against the inevitable changes and challenges of life, you accept them as part of the natural order and use them as opportunities to live according to your values. This alignment with nature helps you to find purpose and direction in every situation, knowing that you are part of a larger whole and that your actions are contributing to the greater good. Another powerful Stoic lesson for living with purpose is the practice of detachment from outcomes. The Stoics believed that while we should strive to achieve our goals, we should not become overly attached to the results. This detachment allows you to focus on the process, on the actions you are taking, rather than being consumed by the outcome. Imagine the freedom that comes from detaching yourself from the outcome of your efforts. You continue to pursue your goals with determination, but you are not discouraged or defeated by setbacks or failures. This detachment helps you to maintain your sense of purpose and direction, even when things don't go as planned, because you understand that the true value lies in the effort itself, not in the result. The Stoics also teach the importance of acting with integrity as a way of creating purpose and direction in your life. Integrity means living in accordance with your values, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. It means being true to yourself and your principles, no matter what challenges you face. Imagine the confidence and clarity that come from acting with integrity. You know that your actions are aligned with your values, and this alignment gives your life a clear sense of purpose and direction. Integrity helps you to stay true to your path, to make decisions that are in line with your true purpose, and to live a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. Another essential Stoic lesson for living with purpose is the practice of service to others. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes not from focusing solely on your own needs and desires, but from contributing to the well-being of others. By serving others, you create a sense of purpose and direction that is deeply meaningful and fulfilling. Imagine the fulfillment that comes from using your talents, skills, and resources to help others. Instead of seeking personal gain or recognition, you find purpose in making a positive impact on the lives of others. This focus on service not only enhances your sense of purpose, but also deepens your connection to the world around you, helping you to create a life that is rich with meaning and fulfillment. Finally, the Stoics teach the importance of embracing change as a way of creating purpose and direction in your life. Change is an inevitable part of life, and it's easy to become attached to the status quo or to resist the natural flow of life. But the Stoics believed that by embracing change, you can find new opportunities for growth, learning, and self-improvement. Imagine the growth and self-discovery that come from embracing change. Instead of clinging to the past or fearing the unknown, you approach change with curiosity and openness, seeing it as an opportunity to live according to your values and to pursue your true purpose. This willingness to embrace change helps you to stay flexible and adaptable, allowing you to navigate life's twists and turns with confidence and clarity. As you continue to apply these Stoic lessons to your life, you'll find that they help you to create a life that is rich with purpose and direction. By aligning your actions with your values, practicing self-reflection, focusing on what is within your control, and embracing change, you can create a life that is deeply meaningful and fulfilling. These lessons offer a powerful framework for living a life that is not only purposeful, but also resilient, adaptable, and deeply connected to the world around you. Through Stoicism, you learn that true fulfillment comes not from external achievements or material success, but from living a life that is guided by your deepest values and highest aspirations. This is the path to creating a life of purpose and direction, a path that leads not only to personal growth, but to a deeper, more meaningful connection with the world around you. As you deepen your understanding of living with purpose and direction through the wisdom of Stoicism, you may find that there are still obstacles within that hinder your journey. One of the most formidable of these is anger, a powerful emotion that can derail even the most well-intentioned path. Anger can cloud your judgment, strain relationships, and lead to actions that you later regret. It's an emotion that many of us struggle with, often feeling powerless to control it once it takes hold. But Stoicism offers a transformative approach to anger, one that can turn this destructive force into an opportunity for growth, patience, and understanding. Imagine the profound difference in your life if, instead of being consumed by anger, you could transform that energy into something constructive: patience, empathy, and a deeper understanding of yourself and others. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it requires deliberate practice and the application of Stoic principles. But with commitment, you can learn to reverse anger's grip on your mind and heart, turning moments of frustration into opportunities for calm and thoughtful action. The first step in this journey is recognizing that anger, like all emotions, is a natural part of the human experience. The Stoics didn't deny the existence of anger or suggest that it should be suppressed entirely. Instead, they taught that anger should be understood, managed, and ultimately transformed. The key is not to let anger control you, but to control your response to it. By practicing self-awareness and mindfulness, you can begin to notice the early signs of anger and take steps to address it before it spirals out of control. One of the most powerful Stoic strategies for transforming anger is to pause and reflect before reacting. When you feel anger rising, take a moment to breathe deeply and create a space between the stimulus and your response. This pause allows you to regain control over your emotions and to consider the situation from a more rational perspective. Ask yourself, what is the true source of my anger? Is it something within my control, or am I reacting to something that I cannot change? Imagine the strength that comes from being able to pause in the heat of the moment and choose your response thoughtfully. This practice not only helps to prevent impulsive reactions, but also cultivates patience and understanding. You begin to see that many of the things that trigger your anger are not worth the emotional turmoil they cause, and you learn to respond with calmness and clarity instead. Another effective Stoic strategy for managing anger is to practice empathy. Often, our anger is directed at others, whether it's a colleague who has wronged us, a friend who has disappointed us, or a stranger who has treated us unfairly. In these moments, it's easy to see the other person as the enemy, someone who deserves our anger. But Stoicism teaches us to look beyond our immediate emotional reactions and to consider the other person's perspective. Imagine the transformation that occurs when you choose to respond to anger with empathy instead of hostility. Instead of lashing out, you take a moment to consider what might be motivating the other person's behavior. Perhaps they are acting out of fear, insecurity, or their own unresolved anger. By practicing empathy, you not only diffuse your own anger, but also create the possibility for understanding and reconciliation. This approach doesn't mean excusing bad behavior, but it does mean recognizing that everyone is dealing with their own challenges and that responding with patience and compassion can lead to a more positive outcome. A crucial aspect of transforming anger is the practice of self-reflection. The Stoics believed that regular self-examination is essential for personal growth and for managing emotions like anger. When you take the time to reflect on your own behavior and motivations, you gain insight into the underlying causes of your anger. This awareness allows you to address the root issues rather than just the symptoms. Imagine setting aside time each day to reflect on moments when you felt angry. What triggered that anger? How did you respond? What could you have done differently? This practice of self-reflection not only helps you to understand your anger better, but also empowers you to make different choices in the future. Over time, you begin to see patterns in your behavior and to recognize the triggers that lead to anger. With this awareness, you can develop strategies to manage those triggers more effectively and to transform your anger into patience and understanding. Another powerful Stoic strategy for transforming anger is the practice of detachment. Anger often arises when we become overly attached to a particular outcome, expectation, or belief. When things don't go as planned, or when others don't meet our expectations, we feel a sense of frustration and injustice that can quickly turn into anger. Detachment doesn't mean becoming indifferent or uncaring, but rather learning to let go of the need to control everything and everyone around us. Imagine the freedom that comes from practicing detachment in situations that would normally provoke anger. Instead of being frustrated by things that don't go your way, you accept the situation as it is and focus on what you can control, your own response. This detachment helps you to maintain your inner peace, even in the face of disappointment or adversity. By letting go of unrealistic expectations and accepting the reality of the present moment, you free yourself from the cycle of anger and frustration. Another crucial Stoic practice for managing anger is the cultivation of gratitude. Anger often stems from a sense of lack or injustice, from focusing on what is wrong or missing in our lives. By shifting your focus to what you have and what is going well, you can diffuse anger and cultivate a sense of contentment and peace. Imagine the difference in your emotional state when, instead of dwelling on what has gone wrong, you choose to focus on what you are grateful for. This shift in perspective doesn't eliminate the challenges you face, but it does help you to approach them with a calmer, more balanced mindset. Gratitude reminds you of the good things in your life and helps to counterbalance the negative emotions that can lead to anger. As you continue to explore these Stoic strategies for transforming anger, you'll find that they not only help you to manage your emotions more effectively, but also lead to deeper personal growth and a greater sense of inner peace. By practicing self-awareness, empathy, self-reflection, detachment, and gratitude, you can learn to transform anger into patience and understanding, turning moments of frustration into opportunities for growth and connection. But these strategies are not just tools for managing anger. They are part of a larger Stoic practice of living a life of virtue and wisdom. As you apply these principles, you'll find that your anger begins to lose its power over you, and you become more patient, more understanding, and more at peace with yourself and the world around you. Another powerful Stoic strategy for managing and transforming anger is the practice of forgiveness. Anger often arises from a sense of being wronged or treated unfairly, and it can be difficult to let go of those feelings when we hold on to grudges or resentment. However, the Stoics taught that holding on to anger only harms the person who is angry, not the person who has wronged them. Forgiveness, therefore, is not about condoning bad behavior, but about freeing yourself from the emotional burden of anger. Imagine the relief that comes from choosing to forgive rather than to hold on to anger. When you forgive, you release yourself from the cycle of resentment and bitterness that can consume your thoughts and emotions. This doesn't mean that you forget what happened or that you allow others to treat you poorly, but it does mean that you refuse to let anger dictate your actions or your state of mind. Forgiveness is an act of strength, allowing you to move forward with a clear mind and a peaceful heart. Another Stoic technique for transforming anger is to reframe the situation in a way that reduces its emotional impact. Often we become angry because we perceive a situation as unfair, unjust, or personally insulting. By changing the way we think about the situation, we can change our emotional response to it. For example, instead of seeing a colleague's criticism as an attack, you might reframe it as an opportunity to learn and improve. Imagine the power of being able to reframe situations that would normally provoke anger. Instead of reacting with frustration or hostility, you approach the situation with curiosity and openness, looking for the lesson or the opportunity for growth. This reframing helps to diffuse the emotional intensity of the situation, allowing you to respond with patience and understanding rather than anger. Over time, this practice of reframing becomes a habit, helping you to maintain your inner peace even in challenging situations. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of practicing humility as a way of managing anger. Often, our anger is fueled by a sense of pride or ego. When we feel that our dignity has been slighted or our authority challenged, we react with anger to defend ourselves. But the Stoics taught that true strength comes from humility, from recognizing that we are not perfect and that our worth is not diminished by the actions or opinions of others. Imagine the strength that comes from practicing humility in moments of anger. Instead of reacting defensively or lashing out to protect your ego, you approach the situation with a sense of humility and openness. This humility allows you to let go of the need to be right or to win the argument, and instead to focus on understanding the other person's perspective and finding a resolution that is in line with your values. By practicing humility, you not only reduce your anger, but also create the possibility for greater understanding and connection. Another important Stoic strategy for managing anger is the practice of focusing on the big picture. Often, our anger is triggered by small, insignificant events that, in the grand scheme of things, don't really matter. By taking a step back and considering the situation in the context of your larger goals and values, you can put things into perspective and reduce the emotional intensity of the moment. Imagine the difference in your emotional response when you focus on the big picture rather than getting caught up in the details of the moment. Instead of allowing minor irritations to provoke anger, you remind yourself of what truly matters: your values, your relationships, and your long-term goals. This shift in perspective helps you to stay calm and focused, even in the face of challenges or setbacks, and to respond to situations with patience and understanding rather than anger. Another powerful Stoic technique for transforming anger is the practice of meditation. By setting aside time each day to meditate on Stoic principles, you reinforce the values that guide your life and strengthen your ability to apply them in difficult situations. Meditation helps you to cultivate a sense of inner peace and calm that can carry over into your daily life, reducing the likelihood of being overwhelmed by anger. Imagine the calm and clarity that come from regular meditation practice. As you meditate on Stoic principles such as patience, compassion, and self-control, you internalize these values and make them a natural part of your thought process and actions. This practice not only helps you to manage your anger more effectively, but also deepens your connection to the Stoic path, guiding you toward a life of greater peace and fulfillment. Finally, the Stoics teach the importance of living in accordance with nature as a way of managing anger. This principle teaches that by aligning your actions with the natural order of the world, you can find a sense of harmony and peace, even in the midst of life's challenges. When you recognize that anger is a natural human emotion, but that you have the power to choose how you respond to it, you can begin to transform that anger into patience and understanding. Imagine the peace that comes from living in harmony with nature, accepting the natural flow of life, and responding to challenges with grace and wisdom. By embracing this Stoic principle, you can find a sense of calm and stability, no matter what chaos or challenges you may encounter. As you continue to apply these Stoic strategies for transforming anger into patience and understanding, You'll find that they not only help you to manage your emotions more effectively, but also lead to deeper personal growth and a greater sense of inner peace. By practicing self-awareness, empathy, self-reflection, detachment, gratitude, forgiveness, reframing, humility, focusing on the big picture, meditation, and living in accordance with nature, you can learn to transform anger into patience and understanding, turning moments of frustration into opportunities for growth and connection. Through Stoicism, you learn that true strength comes not from suppressing your emotions, but from understanding and transforming them. This is the path to mastering anger, a path that leads not only to personal growth, but to a deeper, more meaningful connection with yourself and the world around you. As you continue on your journey, may you carry these Stoic teachings with you, finding the strength, patience, and understanding to navigate life's challenges with grace and wisdom. This is the path to true inner strength, a path that leads not only to personal growth, but to a life that is deeply meaningful, purposeful, and fulfilling. As you delve into the transformative power of Stoicism, learning to channel your emotions, especially anger, into patience and understanding, it becomes clear that the people you surround yourself with play a crucial role in your journey. Relationships, when healthy, can be a source of immense strength and support. They can help you grow, challenge you to be better, and provide comfort during difficult times. But not all relationships are beneficial. Some can be toxic, draining your energy, undermining your progress, and pulling you away from the path of wisdom and virtue that Stoicism encourages. Recognizing and distancing yourself from these toxic relationships is essential to maintaining your inner peace and living a life aligned with your values. Imagine how different your life could be if you were free from relationships that sap your energy, cloud your judgment, and bring negativity into your world. Picture yourself surrounded only by people who support your growth, who respect your boundaries, and who encourage you to live according to your principles. This isn't about cutting people out of your life at the first sign of trouble, but about understanding which relationships are truly harmful and taking steps to protect yourself from their influence. The Stoics were keenly aware of the impact that relationships can have on our well-being. They understood that we are, in many ways, shaped by the people we spend the most time with. If we surround ourselves with those who live by virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we are more likely to cultivate those qualities within ourselves. Conversely, if we are entangled in relationships with people who are toxic, who act out of malice, self-interest, or ignorance, we are at risk of being pulled away from our path of personal growth and inner peace. One type of toxic relationship the Stoics would caution against is one where the other person is consistently negative or pessimistic. These individuals often see the worst in every situation, complain constantly, and bring a cloud of negativity wherever they go. Their pessimism can be contagious, leading you to adopt a similarly negative outlook on life. This doesn't mean that you should abandon someone simply because they are going through a tough time or need your support, but if a person's negativity becomes a consistent presence that undermines your own peace and happiness, it's important to create distance. Imagine the weight that lifts when you step back from relationships that are steeped in negativity. You begin to see the world through a different lens, focusing more on possibilities and growth rather than obstacles and despair. The Stoics teach us that while we cannot control others' behavior, we can control how we respond and whom we choose to spend our time with. By distancing yourself from chronic negativity, you protect your mental and emotional well-being and open yourself up to relationships that uplift and inspire you. Another toxic relationship the Stoics would advise you to avoid is one marked by manipulation. Manipulative individuals often use guilt, pressure or deceit to control others and get what they want. They may twist the truth, play the victim, or use your emotions against you to achieve their goals. These relationships can be incredibly draining and damaging as they erode your sense of autonomy and self-worth. Imagine the empowerment that comes from recognizing and stepping away from manipulative relationships. You reclaim your sense of agency, making decisions based on your own values and judgment rather than being swayed by someone else's agenda. The Stoics remind us to maintain our inner freedom and integrity, which means not allowing ourselves to be manipulated or controlled by others. By setting boundaries and distancing yourself from those who seek to manipulate you, you protect your autonomy and maintain your alignment with your true self. The Stoics would also warn against relationships with those who are overly critical or judgmental. These individuals often focus on your flaws, mistakes, and shortcomings, constantly pointing them out and making you feel inadequate. While constructive criticism can be helpful, relationships that are characterized by constant negativity and criticism can undermine your confidence and self-esteem. Imagine the relief that comes from distancing yourself from relationships where you are constantly judged or criticized. You begin to see yourself through your own eyes, recognizing your strengths and areas for growth without being weighed down by someone else's harsh judgments. The Stoics teach that we should be our own harshest critics in the pursuit of self-improvement, but this does not mean subjecting ourselves to the destructive criticism of others. By surrounding yourself with people who offer support and constructive feedback rather than constant criticism, you create an environment that fosters growth and self-confidence. Another type of toxic relationship that the Stoics would advise you to avoid is one where the other person is consistently selfish or self-centered. These individuals often prioritize their own needs and desires above everything else, showing little regard for your feelings or well-being. They may take more than they give, expect you to cater to their needs, and offer little in return. These relationships can leave you feeling drained, unappreciated, and unimportant. Imagine the sense of liberation that comes from stepping away from relationships where your needs and feelings are consistently disregarded. You begin to value yourself more, recognizing that you deserve relationships that are balanced and reciprocal. The Stoics teach that while it is important to be kind and generous, it is equally important to maintain your own dignity and self-respect. By distancing yourself from selfish or self-centered individuals, you protect your well-being and open yourself up to relationships that are more balanced, supportive, and fulfilling. The Stoics would also caution against relationships with those who are dishonest or untrustworthy. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and without it, relationships can quickly become toxic. Dishonest individuals may lie, cheat, or deceive you, undermining your sense of security and trust. These relationships can leave you feeling betrayed, anxious, and unable to rely on the other person. Imagine the peace of mind that comes from surrounding yourself with people who are honest and trustworthy. You no longer have to second-guess their words or actions, and you can rely on them to be truthful and dependable. The Stoics teach that honesty and integrity are essential virtues, and they encourage us to seek out relationships that reflect these values. By distancing yourself from dishonest or untrustworthy individuals, you create a circle of relationships that are built on mutual respect and trust. Another type of toxic relationship that the Stoics would advise you to avoid is one where the other person is consistently envious or resentful. These individuals may be jealous of your successes, constantly comparing themselves to you, or resenting you for what you have. Their envy can lead to bitterness, competition, and even sabotage, creating a toxic environment that hinders your growth and well-being. Imagine the freedom that comes from stepping away from relationships that are tainted by envy or resentment. You begin to celebrate your own achievements without feeling the need to downplay them or worry about someone else's reaction. The Stoics teach that envy is a destructive emotion that harms both the person who feels it and the person it is directed towards. By distancing yourself from envious or resentful individuals, you protect your own peace and allow yourself to thrive without the burden of someone else's jealousy. Finally, the Stoics would warn against relationships with those who are consistently toxic in their behavior, whether it's through aggression, violence, or emotional abuse. These relationships are often the most harmful, as they can have a profound impact on your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. The Stoics believed in the importance of protecting oneself from harm and advocated for the cultivation of healthy, virtuous relationships. Imagine the sense of safety and well-being that comes from distancing yourself from relationships that are toxic or abusive. You reclaim your power and create a space where you can heal, grow, and flourish. The Stoics teach that it is our responsibility to protect our own well-being and to seek out relationships that are supportive, kind, and uplifting. By stepping away from toxic or abusive individuals, you prioritize your own health and happiness, creating a life that is aligned with your values and goals. As you continue to apply Stoic principles to your life, you'll find that recognizing and avoiding toxic relationships is an essential part of maintaining your inner peace and living a life of virtue. By surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you, and by distancing yourself from those who bring negativity and harm, you create an environment that fosters growth, well-being, and fulfillment. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control the behavior of others, we can control who we allow into our lives and how we respond to them. This wisdom empowers you to make choices that protect your peace and align your life with your highest values. Through Stoicism, you learn that relationships are a reflection of your inner world. When you cultivate healthy, supportive relationships, you nurture your own growth and well-being. This is the path to creating a life that is not only purposeful and directed, but also surrounded by love, kindness, and mutual respect. As you continue on your journey, may you carry these Stoic teachings with you, finding the strength and wisdom to recognize and distance yourself from toxic relationships and to seek out connections that uplift and inspire you. This is the path to true inner strength, a path that leads not only to personal growth, but to a life that is deeply meaningful, purposeful, and fulfilling. As you've journeyed through the teachings of Stoicism, you've uncovered powerful tools for navigating life's challenges, transforming your inner world, and cultivating a life of purpose, direction, and peace. Stoicism is more than just a philosophy. It's a way of living that touches every aspect of your existence, from how you handle your emotions to the relationships you nurture and the legacy you leave behind. Imagine a life where you wake up each day with a clear sense of purpose, confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way, surrounded by relationships that uplift and support you. This is not an unattainable ideal, but a reality that you can create by embracing the principles of Stoicism. By applying these teachings, you not only build resilience and inner strength, but also foster a life that is deeply aligned with your values and aspirations. The wisdom of the Stoics is timeless because it speaks to the core of what it means to be human, to seek meaning, to grow, and to live with integrity. As you continue to explore these principles and integrate them into your daily life, remember that each small step brings you closer to the person you aspire to be. Whether it's managing anger, avoiding toxic relationships, or simply finding peace in the midst of chaos, Stoicism offers a path to living a life that is not just successful, but truly fulfilling. Your journey with Stoicism is unique, and it's shaped by your experiences, challenges, and insights. I encourage you to reflect on how these teachings resonate with you and to share your thoughts and experiences. What aspects of Stoicism have had the most significant impact on your life? How are you applying these principles in your daily routine? Your insights could inspire others who are on a similar path, so don't hesitate to leave a comment below and join the conversation. If you've found value in this exploration of Stoicism and want to continue deepening your understanding, be sure to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on new content that will help you continue your journey towards a life of wisdom, peace, and purpose. Let's keep learning and growing together as we embrace the Stoic way of life. Thank you for being part of this journey. Remember, the path to a fulfilled and meaningful life is not always easy, but with the wisdom of the Stoics as your guide, you are equipped to face whatever comes your way with courage, clarity, and calm. Keep striving, keep reflecting, and keep growing. The journey is just as important as the destination, and each step you take brings you closer to the life you envision.